final weekend of non-conference play is here, and tonight it's an in-state showdown as the Triad beats the Mountains. It's the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, winners of 3 straight matches, welcoming the Mountaineers of App State here at a jam-packed Reynolds Gymnasium in Winston-Salem on ACC Network Extra. So happy to have all of you with us here alongside former Clemson standout Megan Cole. My name is John Gross. Megan, speaking with both of these coaches this week, they felt that their teams turned a corner last weekend, but there's still plenty to learn in the final weekend of non-conference as well.
Set point number 1 for Wake Forest. The Demon Deacons have not claimed a single set against the other 3 top 10 teams they faced this season. And they've also only won 4 sets against Louisville since 2017. Here's Farrell. Almost an ace. Chacoin keeps the rally alive. What effort by Schrand. Whitekettle. Cressy goes over. Farrell's there. Lakita tips, and Wake Forest takes set 2. Stevenson serves. Whitekettle claims set number 1.
And that started with a phenomenal pass from Lagita to get that offense rolling, and Whitekettle brings down the hammer. Wake Forest taking set 1.
Demon Deacons haven't beaten Florida State in 15 years. Off to a strong start tonight. Set 2 coming up next. Florida State 0-2 in 5 setters. Wake Forest 0-2 in 5 setters. Mio Yamamoto tees us off. Away we go in this 5th set. And it's Hawkins. Oh, kept alive by Yamamoto. Mason. Farrell pops it. Lagita long. How about the defense by Florida State in the first point? Here is Jamie Santer. This is her first time playing indoor volleyball since high school. She played 4 years as a star beach volleyball player at Hawaii as Maruska dials it long, but there was a touch.
I know, I have so many questions about her background with beach volleyball and making that transition.
Jamie Santer, the native of Toronto, Canada. Think about the journey that she's been on, going from Toronto, Canada, all the way out to Hawaii, where she was a 4-year starter, left Hawaii with the 7th most dual wins in Hawaii beach volleyball history, and now comes across the U.S. to Wake Forest. Here's Crawford. Mason sent back. Williams and Lagita, another stuff. That is the 13th for Wake Forest. Ryan Baker serves. First set point of the set. Filimawa. Jeeks out of system. Lagita off high hands. Filimawa fists it up. Turned away by Kapia. Hex swing kept afloat. Here's Whalen. Lagita tips and finds the floor. First set in the books, Wake Forest takes it 25-22 over Florida State. You talked about the complexity of this Demon Deacon attack, Amanda. We've seen a versatile bunch through set number 1.
And it's not just different players, it's different positions, right? They're getting their middles involved, their right side involved. Paige Crawford was a given. We knew she was going to be an option for them tonight, but they've been able to not only defensively put up those blocks, but now offensively really have a balanced attack.
Wake Forest taking that first set 25-22. You go back last week against Duke. The Demon Deacons won those 3 sets by 2 points per frame. They found a way to win despite being out-hit, out-killed, fewer digs. They did win the block battle. It's a similar story through this first set.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? When you have a better hitting percentage than the other team, you have more kills than the other team, you think you should be winning that set. But defensively, Wake Forest has been able to have some big points from their blocks, been able to take some heat off of some powerful swings. Wake Forest hitting the ball a little bit more efficiently because they're getting that good first contact for a quality set and swing.
So the Demon Deacons, who entering today had just one set win against Florida State in the last 7 matchups, claims set number 1. Florida State looking to regroup. They got off to that red-hot start, took a 10-4 lead, sputtered for the majority of the first set from there.
I think you pull a lot of positives from that first set, though. Obviously, you had some new pieces in there because Henke is out. I mean, Lexi Mason coming up with 4 kills and Delaney Ewing. These players can be ones that you can involve to have a more balanced attack, throw Wake Forest blockers off pace.
No Yane Henke today for Florida State. 4th in the ACC in kills per set, 4th in aces per set. And Chris Poole, who told us earlier this week that this is the most challenging coaching job he's had in his time at Florida State. This job got even more tough with Henke out tonight. So Chris Poole coaching his mentee and Jeff Holzmeyer. That relationship goes back to the 80s. Holzmeyer actually followed Chris Poole after Poole left Arkansas State for the Arkansas job, starting the Razorback program. Chris Poole recommended Holzmeyer for the job. He got the gig. Now they're coaching against one another for the first time since 1992. Now this Friday night in Deektown, opening rally of set number 2. And it's a miss hit by Whitekettle. First point for the Seminoles.
Yeah, just kind of an awkward contact with the ball with her hand, but that turns out to be good as Florida State blockers unable to pick that one up.
Nonu Kapia back to serve. Generates the overpass, and it's shoved down by Delaney Ewing.
Ewing, that's a very, very smart play. As a player, you want to swing and just crush that ball back over the net, but just finding open court, knowing that you have Williams there ready for the block.
Here's Paige Crawford, who leads Wake Forest in kills, and she adds to the tally her 4th of the night.
We've heard some great things about Paige Crawford all season. What I really like to hear is that she's improved her game, right? Even over these years, she's found success, but she wants to get better each day. And Coach Holzmeyer is saying that she's jumped her highest she's ever jumped before. So just physically improving herself as well.
And that is a tough set to work with as the Demon Deacons level things at 2. Crawford back to serve. She's led this team in kills since stepping on campus. Aces last 2 years. Mason turned away but wide. And a point for Florida State. Lexi Mason continues to impress in this one.
You know, they say feed the hot hand, right? And they haven't been able to slow down Lexi Mason tonight. So you'll see her get more touches.
She has 5 kills, hitting .625. Her career high is 8. Came last week against Clemson. Give and go, Lagita answers her 2nd kill of the night.
Lagita doing a nice job of finding the seam in this block. A quick swing, just such a nice snap on her approach.
Reigning honorable mention All-American at Chicago State. She led the Cougars to their first ever NCAA tournament as that serve is wide. That Chicago State team, by the way, had a total of 9 players, and they won the NEC last year.
So I guess you don't need depth. It's fine if you just running on fumes there.
They lost to Louisville in the opening round. Then again, Louisville beat all their opponents but one in the NCAA tournament, losing in the final to Penn State. David turned away. This block continues to thrive.
Hawkins picks up her 2nd block. And these have been such momentum-shifting blocks, right? Just play-ending, completely shut the offense down. And I think Wake Forest has done a nice job of building off these defensive stops.
Demon Deacons +3 in blocks, despite being on the short end of the stick in terms of blocks this year compared to Florida State. That is powered along. by Filimawa.
And I think that also kind of says something about a young team, too. When you come out of high school, you just kind of want to, in high school, you just hit the ball really hard and you got kills. In college, you have to learn to find your way around those blocks.
Out of system. That is tipped over and down. It's a kill for David and an assist by Filimawa. She's played all over the floor in her college career. Libero, right side, outside. Looks like a setter right there.
She can do it all, but happy to be in her true position this year.
Yeah, she was an all-freshman team honoree as a libero. That was out of necessity due to an injury. A natural outside as Lagita able to tool the block.
Lagita's story was so interesting, too. We talked about how, she wasn't here until August. So then Coach Holzmeyer said that she basically had a crash course to learn the offense and the system, but she's really been able to learn as she goes and brought that into ACC play.
Jeff Holzmeyer said Lagita wanted to play at the highest levels in the U.S. She wants to play professionally as Capilla sides out for Florida State.
Capilla leading this Florida State team right now offensively with 6 kills. She'll be one they lean on to. She's very efficient, but it's a matter of if they can get her in system and set her up with that quick tempo set.
A nice bounce back for Capilla tonight. Had just 3 kills, a season low against Georgia Tech, already up to 6 with a .625 hitting percentage. Here's Lily Nicholson. And that is drilled down by Peck. Couple of big swings from that right side.
Sadie Peck showing a lot of potential, right? The freshman coming in, making immediate impacts when she's been able to get this play time on the right side. And that opens up this Wake Forest offense, something they did so well in set 1, a balanced attack, and Peck, a nice piece to that.
3rd kill for her on 5 swings, hitting .600 as Farrell floats over. Mason taps it down, and she continues to stay hot. 6 kills, 9 swings.
Lexi Mason playing very smart, unfreshman-like, right? When you have those youthful mistakes, but Lexi Mason with the wind-up, that left arm can get so confusing for blockers. A nice light touch for the kill.
Peck popped up by Nicholson. Filimawa. Here's Crawford, off the block and out. A kill for Crawford, who has 5.
Lexi Mason on that right side, obviously a freshman. And Coach Poole said it himself, blocking is one of the least taught things in high school. And that's why it can kind of take a minute for when you get into college to learn that blocking and learn how you move and how you track and how you read and push those hands down. Crawford taking advantage of a young block. That's
a matchup that the Deeks have certainly liked tonight, as that serve is just long by Becca Bellows. Kaylin Russ rotates on for service for the Noles. Slide. Williams puts it down.
We haven't seen that route just yet. We've seen a lot of quick sets in the middle, but now they're getting Williams in motion. This Wake Forest offense looks like they're really coming together in a lot of sync right now.
Yeah, some new faces for the Deeks, but also some familiarity to returning setters. This offense coming together as Mason powers it into the corner.
Mason, half a day offensively right now, just on a roll, hasn't made mistakes like you expect from freshmen, and from what Coach Poole was telling us about this group, she seems on it, locked in today.
7 kills, 1 shy of her career high, which came last week against Clemson in that win for Florida State. Service from Stevenson. Williams, another kill. And the passing, Jeff Holzmeyer said that first touch was key. The passing, the serve receive has been on point tonight for the Deeks.
He said he's going to really focus on, let's just focus on what causes winning, right? And that is that first contact, the simple stuff.
Coverage by Whalen. Filimawa pinballs around, and that's wide of the antenna. Kylie Filimawa back to serve. 10th in the ACC in kills per set. A lot on her shoulders tonight with her fellow standout outside, Henke, unavailable. David slaps it over and down, and Victoria David has done an admirable job filling that void tonight.
Yeah, you've got to be a little happy, right, if you're Coach Poole giving these freshmen an opportunity based off of just your lineup and them actually owning it and stepping up to the plate, being able to produce.
Mason, Kapia, David, all freshmen making an impact tonight. Cross court is wide from Whitekettle, and Florida State builds on its slight lead. And Jeff Holzmeyer wants to chat things over. Florida State, a 2-point cushion in this very competitive match. The Noles lead it by 2, but Wake Forest took set number 1. We'll be back after this.